As mentioned, my name is Leah Wallace. I am the Education Programs Manager for the American Shakespeare Center. It is my luck, privilege, good fortune, and job to moderate these talks. And today we are joined by Cait Redman, who is the Assistant Director for all of the shows in our spring season. Thank you all for being here. Cait and I are going to chat for about 30 minutes. We'll see, maybe 3 or 4 hours, who knows, just go. But then I'll open it up to questions from you all. So, if we don't cover the thing that the burning desire about the clock gears, then remind us at the end. And I would now like to introduce Cait using mostly her own words from her website. So Cait Redman is a director currently based in Stanton, Virginia, which is very lucky for us, who has a deep passion for Shakespeare, new works, and devised theater. She earned her MFA in Shakespeare and Performance from Mary Baldwin University, right up the hill. Go Squirrels. Cait believes that theater is a service industry and strives to create not just plays, but experiences for audiences through a dedication to clear storytelling and a flair for movement-based spectacle. Her directorial practice is rooted in viewpoints and caters to a collaborative work environment. Cait is often found staging works where ghosts appear, siblings are reunited, lovers make devastating mistakes, there might be a puppet, and women take matters into their own hands. When not leading rehearsals, Cait can be found in the wild at her local coffee shop or plant store. She enjoys playing the cranberries for her aloe plant, Lana del Aloe. Fabulous. She is a firm supporter of sriracha.
I am.
Yes, by which we mean the hot sauce, right?
We do.
I'm just checking, because sometimes words have more than one meaning.
Sure.
So, Cait, welcome to Lights On Blackfriars. Thank you so much for being here. It's so great to have you. So I like to start these conversations by asking you about your why or your villain origin story. What first got you interested in theater? Tell us about the journey that brings you to where you are in this role today.
Thank you, yeah. I started doing theater at a young age. I got bit by the bug very quickly. My parents threw me in and they were like, you know what, this kid should do this. It'll be fun. I'm a very shy person by nature, and so this was a way that I got to open up, and I started acting and I loved it. And about halfway through high school, there used to be a organization that would come through the Metro East area. I'm originally from the St. Louis area. And they would pick a Shakespeare play, and a group of schools would each get to perform a variety of scenes. And together we would produce the show.
Oh, what a logistical dream.
Truly, truly. For X, Y, and Z reasons, it fell through one year. And it was a Midsummer Night's Dream that they were going to be doing, and everyone was a little disappointed. And I looked around and I looked at our theater instructor, who happened to be my mother. And I said, well, you know what, we can still do it. And she went, we really don't have the time in the calendar year to actually accomplish this, Cait. And I went, no, I'll do it. Like, I'll direct it. It'll be fine. And it was. And so that was the first thing I directed was Midsummer Night's Dream in high school. And it was great.
I believe you.
Yeah, there were absolutely no problems.
Sounds like it. As long as I don't ask any follow-up questions, right?
It was a very high school production of Midsummer.
Well, you know what? That's a great play to do that for.
Exactly.
Yes, just keep going.
Yes. And so it was a wonderful time. But from there, I realized acting is not the thing I wanted to do. I wanted to direct. And so began directing in college. I graduated in 2020.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And went back home, taught theater for a year, and then had been putting off grad school. I had been told by instructors, well, when you go to grad school, you'll probably find these things out, or like when you do this. And I was like, I'm not going to grad school. And halfway through the pandemic, I went, it's time to go to grad school. And I was on one application done to Shakespeare and Performance with Mary Baldwin University, where I started working on directing Shakespeare, and I've loved it ever since.
Did you do was like Midsummer the seminal Shakespeare experience you had before S&P, or like what was your Shakespearean levels and through college?
I had a lot of Shakespeare experience in high school. My first Shakespeare experience was Richard III.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
We love that.
10 years old Richard III. And so just fell in love with the language, fell in love with the plays. And then from there on, because it is free to produce Shakespeare, my high school, which had low budget, was always like, we will do at least one Shakespeare a year. So I was well versed in the canon by the time I got to high school. And then moving into college, continued to just be invested in these plays.
That explains why you were a one and done application for grad
Yes.
school. Yeah, it takes a special kind of person to go to grad school for Shakespeare, and
It does.
You know, it's good to find each other.
Yes.
So in addition to your directing work, you are an accomplished assistant director, which
Yes.
is such a feat, because who really knows what assistant directing is? That job description varies so much from process to process. And I would love to know more about your role in this season. Tell us what an assistant director at the ASC in the 2026 spring season does. What did your various day-to-days look like?
Absolutely. So this is the first time we've had someone be the assistant director for the full season, which is very exciting.
Yeah. Continuity.
Yes.
Woo!
It's wonderful and thrilling. But that's really my day-to-day is continuity.
Yeah.
I am collaborating with stage management and I'm collaborating with the directors. And so the different variable in each day is who the director I'm working with. And that was Nana and also Brian on The Hound of the Baskerville and Twelfth Night. But in the room, my day can look really, my day looks like, how can I support you and what do you need accomplished? And from there, we move forward. Nana had a list of things that she would have me look for and accomplish for her. She had paperwork that she had me do. Brian comes in and will look at me and go, I need to know the following things. And so I will sit around and I will observe the show and I will type up some notes and I'll be like, here you go. But that is really what my day-to-day is. It's assessing what does stage management need from me and what does the director need from me and how do I make those things happen.
This room
Yes,
is special.
it is.
It's such a special space. And I can imagine that one of the perks for a director coming into a season here, who may have worked in this space before, maybe not, may have experience with lights on, audience available theater, may not. Having somebody who is on for the season and has worked in the space before would probably be a huge benefit to that particular introduction to the space. Were there I would love to hear about any specific Playhouse related things that either Nana or Brian asked you to look for, that maybe it might be nice for audiences to know that they might want to look for too.
Absolutely. One of the fun things about this space is sightlines. And by that I mean each seat has a different view of the stage all the time. And it's really fun to have that experience as an audience member. As a director who's trying to make certain that the audience can see most of the show, it can be a little bit of a puzzle piece of like, okay, well, what can that guy see that that guy can't?
Yeah.
And how do I make big moments be framed so that everybody can see things?
Without just staging everything in this
Right there.
like 3 square feet that everybody can see all the time. Yeah.
Something Nana actually asked me to do that I've made paperwork-wise was she asked if I could make a sightline magic sheet. And so if you do lighting design, a magic sheet is a document that just says where lights are fixed and what lights light that spot. We obviously don't have the need for that. But for sightlines, so what I did was I took a plot of the theater and I divided it up into playing spaces, divided it up into audience sections, and then made a document that said who can see what where. Or here, if you use the staircase or playing spaces. But that document also shows very commonly used staging areas. It's divided the stage up into 4 sections, plus the discovery, also the balcony, and then audience spots that we can use. So that she could look at it and go, okay, 9 times out of 10 people can see this spot. But once she had that documentation, the first 2 weeks in 12th Night, all I was doing really was running around and sitting places and confirming if we could see things.
It's so, it's like we don't always think about it when you are in the audience and you're able to see everything and you're enjoying the show, right? Then you don't, like we want you to never have to think about this work being done because why would you?
Why would you?
But when it's not done, we're going to force you to think about it because you're not going to be able to see what you need.
I've sat back there a lot. I've sat in that seat right there a lot. And I've been in the balcony a lot. But it's one of the things of when you're sitting in a seat that can see everything, you're like, this is great.
Yeah.
But when there's things staged in the balcony and you're sitting over there, it becomes an auditory experience, and that's fantastic, but the director needs to know, hey, this is now an auditory performance for half of your audience. Yeah. We also, no spoilers, use the trap at some point in Twelfth Night.
Trap being
right
hell.
Here. But from right there, you can see straight into the trap. And so that's a different story for folks who are just watching straight on. And so, yeah, providing sightline information is something that I spent a lot of time for both Nana and Brian.
That's fabulous. Oh, how fascinating. So these two plays that we were talking about, Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare, surprise, and The Hound of the Baskervilles based on the classic Sherlock Holmes tale by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. They are both comedies.
Yes.
And the similarities perhaps, they're both classics.
Yes.
But they're very different from each other.
They are.
And we are rehearsing in a repertory style. So we're rehearsing both of these shows at the same time. Can you tell me a little bit about the the sort of challenges that particular process of rehearsing two shows that are super different might pose to you, and some of the opportunities or perhaps joys that can be found working in that way, both in your role and what you observed from the other people involved in the productions?
Sure. It is a lot to accomplish. We're rehearsing 6 days a week, and the schedule varies. We're not doing 12th Night Hounds, 12th Night Hounds. It'll be 12th Night Hounds, 12th Night Hounds. So it varies on what we're doing every single day. The Hound of the Baskervilles, there's
only
one
one.
hound. There's one hound. Dramaturgically important.
Yes. Or is there any hound?
We will find out together.
You should come back next week and see it when it opens. I can play. That's right. Bob is an accomplished player of canines. He played Crab.
And you're letting us know that now.
No. I know.
At the summer
yes.
2 years ago.
Oh, fantastic. The Hound of the Baskervilles is a three-hander, so there's 3 actors plus a Foley artist. And so just the energy in how many people we have creatively in the room is different and fun and exciting. To go from a cast of 10 people all working on a Shakespearean comedy to 4 people working on a modern farce that is quick-paced and designed to be done with 3 people who all play multiple roles. It's just a different way to use your brain. From my end of the table, it's very exciting because my job is also to kind of come in every day with fresh eyes and go, well, what am I seeing as if I'm seeing it for the first time? Do I understand everything? Is the story making sense? Does that bit work? And to provide feedback as necessary. So it's a fun challenge to kind of, as somebody who also comes from the Shakespeare program, go, I've never seen Twelfth Night.
Yeah, what is this?
I've never read this play.
Twins?
I don't know that there are twins.
Who?
Do I now know that there are twins? It's fun to work through that creatively. In The Hound of the Baskerville, it's really fun to come in every day and just look at the new. It is also a modern play, and that's the challenge of this space as well that I've been used a little bit with Brian, is looking at how do you take a theater that is known for not turning the lights off and produce a play that is honestly designed for black box theater or high-tech theater.
Yeah. Lots of stage directions calling for blackouts.
What do you do
What do you do?
What do you do when textually the actor says, can we dim the lights?
Yeah.
You will find out.
I can't wait.
Yes. What do you do when textually there is fog on stage and it is supposed to be a big effect? So that's something I also lend an eye to and lend a just thought generation, is how do we make technical things happen in a playhouse where tech is not really the name of the game.
Yeah, we do tech, we think of tech differently.
Yes.
Than, I think one of the joys of coming here is seeing like, how are they going to do that thing?
Exactly.
In these conditions where like we don't use canned sound and we don't have fog machines, and that, that one is not so much a Shakespearean staging condition, although it is. They didn't have fog machines either.
No. In case you didn't know.
Unless you count the Thames.
This is true.
Which is in itself a fog producing machine, but has to do with our HVAC system and what the Actors Union requires in terms of, and what audiences honestly deserve in terms of air circulation, size of the space for filling a space with fog or not. And we are staying on the windy side of the law and being careful in not using those effects.
Yes.
But when we did Dracula last season,
Yes.
The solution to the fog, because it's so textually necessary in these silly little plays, that fog, and they came up with some obscenely funny, like so much funnier than it needed to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything that you can tell us about Hounds that won't spoil it for us?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, great.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Great.
No.
Because I was like, I would have been so sad to have had that fog effect spoiled for me.
You will not have a fog effect spoiled, no. I was also
But like,
the
you
assistant.
could also spoil it.
Oh.
No, okay, please. You were the assistant.
A director on Dracula. And so that was a fun process. For Dracula, we had sheer fabric on wooden dowels, and the actor was supposed to walk through it because the text said the actor is walking through fog. And so he was able to kind of push through and walk through it.
And then they would like, when the fog had to move, other actors would move the fabric.
Yes.
And they were all very serious about it. And it was just that just
It was
perfect
absolutely fun.
addition to like, and I'm sure when you are navigating so few bodies doing so many things, I mean,
Yes.
it adds its own technological challenge, but that is a challenge that we can accomplish. And that's what I say, like, it is still technology. It's just, you know,
different form.
A different form,
Yeah.
yes. In what ways, we talked about them being very different. In what ways do you see these plays speaking to each other or having commonalities, similarities, other than, you know, the broad term of classic and comedy?
Sure. A through line that I will bring up is disguise. Twelfth Night obviously has the twins involved and Viola textually putting on a disguise. The fun part about Hound of the Baskervilles is that we have 3 actors doing all of these different characters. So there is a little bit of, they're all putting on disguises all the time because they have to change and pretend to be so many different characters. Sherlock Holmes textually disguises himself and plays a variety of roles. So it's a fun, yes, what is seen, what is unseen is a
Yeah.
beautiful through line throughout these 2 shows.
It's so fun, like, the difference between I, actor, have put on a different costume to play a different character versus I, character, am disguising myself
Yes.
as a different personality.
Yes.
And I love the way, I know how Shakespeare always takes care of that because he, you know, actors have always been expensive. And so Shakespeare has always doubled. He, you know, had a cast of 10 to 15 and plays have an average of 32 characters. You always have at least some actors playing more than one part. And so how do you know that that body that I've seen before is a different person now, as opposed to like they changed, the character changed clothes.
Absolutely.
And it's because that person will walk on stage and go, "Hello, it is me, in disguise," before the scene goes on. And I love the way that our team has embraced that challenge in Baskervilles, and particularly with the disguising of Sherlock. And like, there's like his silhouette always follows the character, and he takes on some wacky disguises.
There are a few.
Yeah.
Yes. No, costumes has helped out greatly with that.
Yeah. So another part of your job, what a multifaceted job it is,
Truly.
involves working with our understudies. And I think understudying is such a fascinating and vital and often overlooked component of the performing process. And I would love if you could tell us about what the understudy process looks like. What does the ASC provide in terms of, and what is our backup plan? How do we prepare them? What does it look like? What is your role in it?
Absolutely. So I am also the understudy coordinator, and so what I am doing currently is putting together the understudies rehearsal schedule. The understudies are typically Mary Baldwin students or alums, and we have a really great ratio right now of 1 understudy to 1 performer. So we have 10 understudies for the 10 members of the cast. So everyone is covered. Understudies have a principal track. They are required to be able to replicate the performance to the best of their physical ability of that primary track, so that if they are to go on, there is no surprises to the team of what to expect from performance. They also have a secondary track, so they are covering 1 actor fully, and they're covering a second actor just in case. The rehearsal process tends to vary show to show because each show has different requirements, and each group of understudies has different requirements. Something that I like to do is check in with the understudies and see what are things that they want time with. It depends on the show, it depends on the actors. But I will walk up to them and like, so what are the things that you're a little nervous about? What are things that you're looking at and going, okay, if it takes this long in rehearsal for them to get it, like how am I going to do it? And I'm like, first of all, we've got you. So my job is reassuring and then rehearsing and establishing that understudies have all of the resources that they need, access to calendars. They're not required to do music. So if you're seeing the pre-show music, they are not required to do that. However, our understudy for Festi does need to know the music that Festi textually plays. So making certain that they have access to sheet music, they have access to our music director if they so choose to use that resource. We will have access to our fight captain. And then sometimes this is a really fun acting challenge for these students. Someone approached me the other day and said, yes, I'm covering this role and I'm excited, but I'm typically not cast there and I'm so excited to figure it out. Yeah. And so it also becomes a little bit of like, well, we get to just rehearse and have fun. So that's what this looks like here. They have just opened 12th night, and so we will be rehearsing 12th night, and we're about to go into Hounds Tech. So my fellows and Hounds will be with me extra as we work that three-hander. Yeah.
Can you also tell us about what it looks like from the understudy coordinator's position when we do need to activate an understudy? Like, what is that machinery?
Yes. We have activated an understudy when I was a coordinator before. So on Little Women, we activated an understudy, and what that meant for me was I came in and I spent time rehearsing that understudy, and we went through all of her scenes, and I said, what do you need, and what's going to make you feel confident? And so for that understudy at that time, what they needed was just reps on space. They just wanted to make certain that they had the lines, they knew where to stand, and that's all that they needed to feel successful. And that's what we did. Until they felt comfortable, we just repped scenes. And then when it comes to actually putting them on, that goes to stage management. So the name of the game for assistant directing and understudy coordination is support and service. What can I give you? What do you need? Are all of your, in the words of Nana, access needs met? Are you set up to succeed? Do you feel like you're ready to go? And so that's what that looks like from my end. It can be a very quick turnaround if we're putting somebody in. I've run over to Mary Baldwin and said, hey, you needed to run lines. Let's sit on this couch and run your lines. That's what you needed. I've also gone, hey, we need to get some space booked somewhere right now so that we can just get some scene work done for you. So it varies, but service and what do you need is the name of that game.
And the show goes on.
And the show goes on.
You know, and everybody has a great time, especially the understudy.
It's thrilling. I'm really excited when they get to go on.
You know, having a security net a safety net is a fabulous practice to have. And it absolutely can be scary when you need it. But then when you get caught, like I love watching everybody else on stage when understudy is activated, especially if you've been running the show for a while, because when you're doing 8 shows a week and you've done 13 student matinees and you're well into a season and you think you know every place where an audience member could possibly yell at you in a weird way, like that new energy that comes on with an understudy can just be such a delightful addition.
I also work with production a little bit on that end. I'm coordinating with costumes to make certain that understudies have been fit for shoes, so they are able to rehearse in shoes as we begin rehearsal processes. We'll also have some secondary fittings so that they do have costume pieces pulled and set aside for them just in case. That there's no scrambling on that end. So when they come in, if they are activated, costumes has already figured out what they're wearing. Everybody's all set. It's just about making certain that they feel good and ready to go.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
No problem. It's joy.
Okay, so I have one more question, but it's a multi-pronged question. And then I'm going to open it up to you all to ask your questions. You stated some things on your website that you love.
Of course I did.
And I want to know how they made it onto this short list. What in your career for like each one of these things has been your highlight Let's start with ghost appearing.
Yes.
What's your favorite ghost appearing?
So this list I was putting together, my friend Kaylee Potter has a very similar list on her website of, if you've seen me act, this is what you've seen me do. And I was like, that's brilliant. And so I'm gonna steal it and I'm gonna make it about directing. And I looked at the shows that I had directed and I said, what are the common themes? And one of the common themes was ghosts appear. One of my favorite ghost appearances is The Spanish Tragedy. Don Andrea opens the play and he is a ghost and he says, hello, I am a ghost. And that one is honestly my favorite ghost because you don't need to do a lot. He tells you right there, I am the ghost.
Hello.
That one's my favorite.
That's great.
Yes. But he becomes kind of a figure who just observes the play. And so how we stylized that one was we had him dressed all in white, different from the rest of the cast. But we made it a rule in the room that if Andrea is on stage, you cannot interact with him. And so visually what happened in creating him as a ghost was that he was like, oh, I see my best friend. My best friend does not see me. And that is upsetting. So that was one ghost I had that I really enjoyed. I also work with Silver Line Theater Exchange occasionally, and their All Valley High School show a few years ago was Emily Bronte, Teenage Necromancer. Delightful. Necromancy debatable. More of a ghost hunter. But there were ghosts in that show.
Sounds like it.
So we had to figure out how do you stage those ghosts. And that was a series of slow movement work, and we had gauze on all of them. But again, that was a special effect of only one person on stage could actually see these ghosts and one person could not. And so I like ghost work because I like figuring out the rules of what's visible.
That's super fun.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about your favorite siblings are reunited moment.
12th night.
Yeah.
12th night.
So say more.
Prior to this 12th night, I had also directed a production of 12th night. And I think the scene where Viola and Sebastian are reunited is just a beautiful moment. And it is so sweet, and that text is stunning. And it's such a moment of slowing down in that comedy of these two people who we never saw together, but have lived life, are finally together again. I'm a sucker for the romances, so any reunion is something I really, really enjoy seeing.
I love that slowing down, the way because there's so much going on in that final scene. I mean, you know, Shakespeare, everybody on stage wrapping up all those loose ends.
And it's funny.
And it's so funny.
They're finally there.
They're fine, and everyone's like, what? And they're like, hang on, we have to compare this list of things. Like, because I know what, like Viola has an inkling. She's heard the name before. They have met previously.
Yes.
They are aware of the existence of a twin, but they have to slow down and like really confirm that I mean, it's just, what a lovely time. Okay, favorite lovers making devastating mistakes.
So I directed Troilus and Cressida. Devastating lovers. Troilus and Cressida are the lovers from that production, and if you've never read Troilus and Cressida, it is a play about the Trojan War, and it is just as fun as it sounds.
Yeah. It is fun. It's none of the parts of the Trojan War that you know.
No,
That's
it's a very Two Towers situation because it doesn't give you why you're here and it doesn't tell you how it's going to end. It says here's the middle.
They little slice.
They don't even give you the Trojan horse. I'll never forgive him for that. I will never forgive William Shakespeare for not giving a Trojan horse. However, these two lovers make devastating mistakes and just they go through the play and there's conflict. There is just devastating circumstances that I won't spoil Troilus and Cressida for, but there are situations beyond their control that absolutely destroy their relationship. And I think it's heartbreaking to watch, and that's my favorite devastating lovers situation that I've worked with.
There might be a puppet.
So the Troilus and Cressida production that I worked with was a small scale with Mary Baldwin Shakespeare and Performance. And what that means, if you're not familiar, is that it is a full show done with X amount of actors.
Much like the Hounds of Baskervilles.
Much like the Hound of the Baskervilles.
One hound.
Of the Baskervilles. I had
Many
6 performers playing about 50 roles. And so one of the characters, we were looking at it in production and we said, we really can't make this, we could make this happen with just the actor body playing this character, or we could have a puppet. And so we got Ajax, who is textually the largest guy in the Greek army, is a Marvin the Martian puppet. who got to be held around, and so he was physically huge, but he's such a tiny little puppet. But I love puppet work, and I'm really interested in puppetry and how that talks in performance. But that is there might be a puppet in some of my direction.
I love that.
Yeah.
And women taking matters into their own hands.
Yes.
Favorite instance?
Spanish tragedy, Belle Imperia. Yes.
Tell us more.
Tell us more. But Spanish tragedy is the precursor to Hamlet, actually. It's a fun play. It's written by Thomas Kidd. If you don't know it, I would find it. But Belle Imperia is this character who has just lost so much. And they do a play within a play at the very end, and she takes her fate into her own hands, is how I will phrase it, to not spoil the works of Thomas Kidd.
That's like the only one of his that we...
The work
Yeah.
of Thomas Kidd.
Yeah.
Nope, just the work.
Okay, well, that was my last written question, and I will now give the opportunity for if there's anybody in the audience that has a question for our fabulous assistant director for the spring season. Yeah, Bob.
After all that, but I'll go one at a time.
Okay, great.
The significance of the clock gears.
Yes.
I saw that and I said, what the heck is that? You know, and I also see one's missing. Is Conrad working on it or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. It was a little bit knocked over last night.
We had a time stop moment.
Yeah.
No, everything was fine. Nana wanted the world of Twelfth Night to feel wonderful and fantastical. And her approach to this play, her answer was she wanted a steampunk Elizabethan world. And through further conversations, we all agreed on a clock punk world. And there's some dramaturgy done by our dramaturg, Sienna, available in the upper lobby during performances to know more about the exactness of that.
I read that and then what?
I gotcha. But the answer is we wanted a fantastical feel, and that was our way in.
All right. That's good, because I never heard of steampunk or clock punk.
They're very fun.
Yeah, so steampunk,
That's a music style, I guess.
it's more of a fashion style, a fashion
Aesthetic.
and a general aesthetic. So it's this idea of melding future and past. So it's futuristic from wherever you are, whenever the thing is being written. It's in the future of that thing, but it is using a lot of elements of steam-powered technology. So the idea is that everything kind of looks like a train, or like elements on a steam engine, because it's all steam-powered. Clockpunk is the Renaissance version of that, where instead of steam, it's gears. It's clock. Everything is powered by clock gears, and there's there was the fantastical quality of things that Nana wanted it to look like not our world, but not a specific other world like that we know of and that we can map one to one. Oh, this character is the Prince of Spades or whatever. Like, we didn't want it to be recognizable in that way, just recognizably fantastical.
Yeah.
And I remember her asking towards the beginning of the process, like, is this something that your audiences will be like sick of? Do you do clock punk a lot? And I was like, no.
This will be new and exciting.
This will be new, and she was like, I want it to be new and exciting. I was like, you nailed it. Don't worry.
New and exciting.
And then there's a lot of lines in the play that are about time.
Yes.
So that came up. Now I have a fifth question.
Great.
Then I'll stop after this one. Now, I don't remember in the play when the priest is asked about performing the ceremony, and Angela looks at her watch and says, according to my watch, or something like that.
Yes.
Is that written in the original Shakespeare play? Okay. I couldn't remember that, so that's really fun.
It's in there. And she's so mad.
It's been 2 hours.
She has 3 different clocks that she looks at.
Right.
And then the
She
clock.
did that in the dress rehearsal, but not so much on Thursday night.
Well, she did it last
3
night.
different clocks.
We've gotten more clocks,
Okay.
I believe, since Wednesday.
I'll see it again pretty soon.
Absolutely.
When in doubt, add more clocks.
Yes.
Okay.
Time increased.
Other people ask their questions, and I'll wait for my other 3.
Okay. Are there other questions while Bob is waiting?
Well, I have a costuming question, because costuming is, like, that's one of the elements that you can really play with. What kind of thought process goes into that?
Yeah.
For the costumes.
Yeah. So those conversations begin between the director, ASC leadership, and the costume designer as early as possible. So that's why I was talking about those early conversations about, like, well, what I want it to be fantastical. I have these ideas. That's when the costume designer is also being part of the conversation. And The director will have dreams, and the costume department will have a budget and reality, and then we will have a certain amount of time, and we will make the magic that it is possible to make in that amount of time. I don't know if you noticed, but it looked magical. Like, did you see the stuff? It looks so good. Elizabeth Whistler is the costume designer for this season. She is phenomenal. She is very intentional about her use of materials. And so the amount of repurposing of existing pieces and existing fabrics and notions and bits and bobs that went into this show is just laudable, honestly. Like,
Super intentional.
yeah. And that, I mean, I understand that it is what I think we call like expertise and hard work. But I'm pretty sure it's actually witchcraft. Like, I don't.
It's magic.
Yeah.
There's something magical about it.
It is. I mean, it's just because at the first rehearsal, the first read through, there'll be a design presentation where the costume designer is able to talk to the whole assembled team about here's what we're thinking, here's where we're going, here's what I have distilled from the director's dreams and the awareness of budget and reality and whatnot. And so they create mood boards and renderings and drawings of and kind of a Pinterest-y little murder board things of here's the vibe for this character, here's the vibe for this family, here's the direction we're heading in. And then all of a sudden those things appear like on bodies on stage, and the perspective I get from,
It's fantastic.
mostly audience point of view. But it is a lot of professionals collaborating with hard work, witchcraft. And humor, yes.
A lot of humor.
It's a designer for the whole season this year, or is that typical?
Elizabeth's just doing Hounds and Twelfth Night. There's another designer for Bold Stroke.
And that will vary season to season, process to process, show to show. Sometimes we'll have a designer for all the shows in the season, sometimes a different designer for every show.
Yeah.
It just depends on each season.
But you have a whole costume.
We do, yes. We have a year-round artistic staff that includes a wardrobe shop manager and dressers that are in charge of our stock. I point up every time I say that as if you will know. A lot of our costume stock is stored in what we call the heavens, so it's above our heads. And that will also run the shows after the designer leaves. So the people who are actually backstage helping with the quick changes and maintaining, doing all the laundry that needs to be done, doing the repairs that need to be done, those are members of our year-round staff, whereas the designer is brought in for a certain amount of time in a design process to build, create, open, and then let be. And everyone involved in that process is a witch.
The actors also get some say in this
Yeah.
costume process, which is what I find really exciting. So we were talking about those renderings that are passed out on day one. Some of them are more detailed than others because we know that actors have things that they're like, I really need this thing in this character, or they know the characters better than we're going to. And so this is a beautiful collaboration with designer, director, but also actor. I think Topher was asked how he also wanted to come and present as
that makes
Orsino.
sense.
And I remember he said, he was like, I don't know, I really like Prince. And so that kind of influenced the costume as well, that they bring presence and they bring what they also need as the people wearing the costume to those conversations.
And I know that's really important to Elizabeth too, to make sure that the actor's point of view and comfort level are high on her consideration list. I understand that Angela said Mariah has blue hair.
Yep.
Like that was an Angela decision, and I was like, she does. Thank you. So clearly,
Oh, you're here?
yeah. Well, shut up, Bob. But everything about theater is, at the end of the day, a team sport.
Yep.
Because it's always going to require multiple people to pull it off, and then other people to watch it get pulled off. We got some more time. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Hi.
I'm interested in knowing what you've learned from this process and how you're going to pull it forward into the next thing that you endeavor. Like, what are some things, maybe like ASC specific, or just from having to wear all these different hats that you're hoping to bring with you into your next project?
Absolutely, thank you. Time management. is a skill that is going to follow me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yes, and just having everything, Nana's directing is very structured from the table side. And that is something that I'm taking with me, of just knowing what is happening where and having a very clear timetable moving forward. That also helps with the repertory that the ASC is having us do, is knowing where everything is and having a very detailed time schedule. Yeah. Yep.
A vital skill.
And tracking ability.
Yeah.
We have some props that we're sharing with 12th Night and Hounds, and so that's one of the ways I liaison with stage management, is I'm like, yes, we are sharing that blanket. We all have that blanket in both shows. And so it's yes, having a mind towards the logistical at all times.
What a fun Easter egg for audiences, I always think, when there are things that are shared between shows and the rep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a very creative and fun experience. It's also a very logistical
Yeah.
spreadsheets world.
And we want to make it look off the cuff.
Absolutely.
But there are so many spreadsheets involved. If you go backstage, that's the primary thing you'll see.
Spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets. And ghosts, maybe.
Maybe.
But like only I can see them.
Maybe a puppet,
Maybe there might be
but that's okay.
a puppet. Some devastating mistakes for lovers.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I'm going to build on what she asked. I love, and the audience loves, when Malvolio walks out of there wearing a curtain.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's such an optical illusion.
Yes.
And it's really great. And also, I don't remember, have we used those curtains before? Probably.
Yes, these are the originals.
Okay.
That curtain cloak was built for the 2013 production of the Two Gentlemen of Verona.
All right, that was a long time.
Valentine tries to, when he's trying to sneak across with the ladder, he's blending into the curtains. And then we have used it since then, again, in Two Gentlemen of Verona for the lamppost.
Oh. All
Right? Yeah, okay, cool, great. And then I was like, that's so funny, Blake sticking his head through. That's oh my God!
right. It was, and the audience loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
He almost gets an applause just walking out. You know. Okay, Mike, I have a few, but I want to ask one more.
Okay.
I was curious, The Hound of the Baskervilles, was that play written for 3 actors?
Yes.
Yes.
Because we have so many actors, and I'm thinking, why aren't we using our other actors? Because it's written for.
It's written for 3. Yeah.
Written for 3.
That was an easy question.
Yeah.
We can ask one more.
Okay, sightlines. I'm an usher, so I've probably seen each play about 10 times or something like that. And quite often I'll be thinking, I'm glad I'm not sitting up there or up there. Because sometimes quite a bit of the action acts way over on the right and way over on the left. And now I've only seen this play twice so far. I know you don't want it all in the center, but I haven't seen too much way over on the right or way over on the left. Maybe I'm missing it, or maybe you squeeze them in a little bit.
We squeezed them in a little bit.
Yeah. I like that better as an audience member, but I always sit in the middle of it, front facing.
Yeah. When I made that paperwork for Nana, one of the things I said was, if you're sitting over there, in all honesty, you do miss a lot of the action over here, and vice versa for over there. And so when we got into the room, Nana requested that we have spike tape to get sight lines done, so the actors knew, if I'm standing right here, this is kind of the magic spot for 90% of the house can see me. But that is why we should have a majority of our show visible to these folks.
And sometimes like a character needs to hide in plain sight on stage,
Exactly.
right? So if you need to like fade away, it's great to know where those sight lines kind of begin and end, or if you're trying not to pull focus. And then sometimes this seat is going to get a little Easter egg.
Exactly.
Right? Like that they're going to get a different view. They're going to miss something, but it's not going to be.
It's not detrimental.
Yeah, and they're going to gain something by what they have missed.
Yeah,
like
when a body is pushed out from the back.
You get a little bit of a behind-the-scenes view. It's
Yeah.
really fun, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
It's like, great. I have 2 separate questions. So my first question, you've clearly done a lot of work in this space through your Mary Baldwin Shakespeare and Performance stuff. I'm trying not to stutter, oh my goodness. But also you've assistant directed a lot, it seems like, between fall and spring and now doing the repertory. So with all of this rich knowledge of the space, what would be your dream show to direct here as part of like a main production?
She's listening.
It's on film too, so don't worry.
Yeah,
No
no
pressure.
pressure there.
Don't worry.
No.
You've got such a rich knowledge. I feel like you'd be able to like direct something really incredible. So I'm wondering, like, what's the play that like Cait wants to direct?
My favorite play is Henry V. And I love trying to figure out how the Battle of Agincourt happens in this room. I would love that show.
And in addition to that is, will there be a puppet in it?
And where is the puppet? Who is the
The
puppet?
puppet is Llewellyn.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. No, I have no clue if there'd be a puppet, but I'm open to puppets. Always open to puppets.
Always open to puppets.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Cait. It's been such a joy to spend some time with you and share some light with you and get to learn more about what it means to be an assistant director here for the ASC 2026 spring season, our 25th anniversary of the Playhouse. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.